It's move 11, and look what Denis Lazovic, 18 years old, is bringing to the world number 4 Arjun Erigaisi. They met in the Speed Chess Championship. It's 5 minutes each plus 1 second a move. I'll bring you the final result of this online chess.com blitz bonanza at the end of the video, but first let's jump back to the beginning, dive into this brilliant game. It opens up with pawn to d4.
I mean, d4 move, it just wouldn't even cross my mind. Very often one move is enough indicator. It's just like impossible to find d4. Absolutely impossible. Let's check if it's the main move, if it's the best move. It's second line, yeah. No, I mean, one move, clear indicator to me. I mean, it wouldn't even like cross remotely my mind, such move. I mean, even in classical game, I'm not sure. In blitz, no chance at all. So everything is very clear to me about this game. I report, I block, and report.
Arjun responds with hopping out the knight, c4, e6, queen's gambit declined on the board, and after the exchange variation, we don't get pawn takes, the tried and tested, we get knight takes. What is this opening even called? Cannot remember, but anyway, white gets the big center here. Looks really dubious, but these grand minstrels will play anything these days. They've worked it all out to a draw, but rook b1 keeps some life, saying, hey, you want to take and try this check? Well, it ain't happening. So the bishops staying on the board, and that becomes relevant very soon. Castle's played. Do we get some bishop d3? Castle's action? Of course not, or you wouldn't have clicked on the video and stuck with it. But here we are, here you are, because you know what's coming here. Something's about to fianchetto, but white's on their merry way, trying to make a thorn pawn, so h6, covering g5 also, and here it comes, the absolutely epic rook lift to h3. Denis is in fantastic shape. He does it with aplomb. We now see king h8, anticipating these attacking ideas, and stepping here straight away is best because look what's lined up. Not like that. This is the move played by Denis though. Running into pawn e5. Now he plays rook g3 here, but it allows Arjun to liberate the bishop, attack the center. He plays bishop h4. It's the top move, swapping the knight for the bishop there, streaming out with the queen. Bishop e3 now played. Not technically the best, you know, d5 a bit better apparently, or bishop b2 according to Sir Stock Squiddington, but this selected takes. Wonderful connect 4, but not lasting long, so no prizes today I'm afraid. Seahorse spawned, just completely ignoring the fact you can munch here and getting the pieces into the game, but guess what, it's not even the best move, taking or d5, no. There's this insanity that I was just drawing on the board. Takes, queen d2, you want to crash through of course, no king h7 or you run into e5, there's a rook, so you have to do this, but then this, and you should actually sack a knight here, just to get rid of this pawn. The knights are, the lines are crazy. If you pin like this, there's the absolutely otherworldly bishop to g6, and you're intercepting, crashing through, if takes, queen takes, so you get this, and then there's this though, hitting this, sorry one moment, pause on this. Now we jump back to the game here, and white's just doing brilliantly. So we run back. This was actually a killer, or a very interesting move, let's say, but not played bishop b5, and it is a mistake, because black can just crash through in the center here, completely the best move. Now Denis's idea was to take a few times, bring the queen, threaten mate, but black can go f6, or even bishop g4 to intercept the rook, and is doing better. The centre's collapsed, the bishop pair gone, but not played. Arjun goes, queen takes on e4, also a natural move, pinning the bishop to the king, defending the knight. But now you can take here, it's game on once more, queen sliding over, sets up the battery, But once again, there's a killer move for Arjun. He does not find it. It's this little pony push. And the reason it's so strong is that you're hitting the bishop, but you're also threatening knight c2 check ideas. So one of the strongest ways to play is king f1, step away from this, step out of the pin, then black can take, rook recaptures, and bishop a6 does some damage down the light squared long diagonal. So this was a killer, but not found. Bishop f5 played, and it now allows a fight back. This is of course attacked, so it lifts. Again, a knight jump is strong, this time to e5 apparently, eyeing this square perhaps, but this one was played a moment too soon, however, because now if you go king f1 and takes and rook takes, there's no bishop a6. But Dennis doesn't do it. He plays f3. The entire game's going wild here, kicking back the queen. That's a nasty pin, so the king steps up. Bishop h7 now on the board, but it's not the best. This had to actually be tried to cover h6. White's looking to crash through, use the battery, but this one dropping back, and it allows a beautiful second time rook lift into b4. What muscles on this young 18-year-old chess prodigy, just lifting them into the game. Queen retreating, rook g4 now, not the best moves, but we're going to stick with it. Takes was best, queen c5, knight e6, but this was played. Looks so natural, hitting these pieces, supported by the bishop. But now the queen can be hit, and it's a vital tempo and so tricky. Queen c3 is actually best. And then there are these lines where you can actually exchange queen and knight for queen and bishop on e3. So there's no counter tactical issues after queen c3. But not played. We get queen e7. Again looks so natural. But what's the problem? It's tactical. It's beautiful. Can you find the knockout blow here? It's rook e4.
Okay, let's do the procedure. Block. This is first what I do.
Intercepting the connection between bishop and knight and also hitting the queen. Now it looks like you should take, right? Rook recaptures, queen goes, then win the knight, play this position. At least you won a rook for the two minors. But Arjun doesn't do it. He moves the queen. Has he gone nuts? Just sacrificing an entire knight? Well, no, this is what he's got planned. He forks those two rooks with the pawn now, and this is an incredible follow-up move from Dennis. He doesn't move either of the rooks here. He finds bishop f4, and he's giving up this pawn with check. Queen recaptures, takes, because he's seen he's got a much better endgame. Best is actually taking here. Then you follow up with this and this. But he plays in immediately. Pawn captures. Bishop e5. Rook covering that sensitive point. And you do have time to now take on g4. Then attack the rook. But this was played first. Takes. Pawn takes. a5 on the board. This one gets whipped off. And we enter this endgame where it's level material after this pawn drops here on c5. That was unavoidable. And opposite coloured bishops, but there's a problem for Arjun. It's his king, it's his rook, tied down the defence here, plus he's up on the clock a bit, D-Laz, and it means that Arjun's got to find the right defensive setups. So difficult low on time, because not only has he got to cover this pawn, but there's a second problem, and it's connected with Freddie, the running f-pawn. This one attacked, defended by the rook, converging back here, attacked once more, and now you've got the option to go bishop b3. But if you do so, f-pawn's running. Here's a sample line. You can run it all the way to f6, and what to do. If you capture, bishop takes with check, king's in jail, you lose a rook. If you don't capture, then okay, you can be taken here, you know, say you wait somewhere. Well, you could take, but it's not actually best. Pushing soon is best, But first setting up with rook e7, apparently it's very deep stuff, but there can be these ideas in the air. Let's run back to the game. None of this occurred. No bishop b3, allowing f5, but king h8. Rook takes. This was the alternative problem. There were evils wherever you looked. The game proceeds like this, using the pin. Beautiful, but now it moves. This pawn drops. It's all about the a pawn running down the board here. Such a tricky task for Arjun. He's living on the increment here. Bishop c4 was apparently the best drawing move, but this one tried. Can you really blame? 2 pawns now to the good for white. Running it with the engine, keeps trying to suggest drawing lines, but in any kind of practical human game, this is absolutely game over because you're getting trousered. 2 bits running down the board here, down the A, down the F. What to do? How do you cover it all? No time on the clock. Dennis is just teasing at this point, bouncing around with the bishop, the king, eventually making progress, and there goes the lady. Chops off the bishop. F-pawn's going to win it. Can this rook stay with the pawn? Did you just mess up? It's got nowhere to go. The rook's attacked. Now what do you do? Bishop h6. Only move to save the game for white as a win. King now checked. But of course this is a terrible blunder. Simply an issue. Low on time. Because after king takes, you march in like this. And of course this is a 1 king bishop pawn versus king endgame. And there we have it, final position. Dennis wins this one, also wins the match, 12-9 I believe the final score was. Absolutely incredible performance. He proceeds to the quarterfinals, and if you want to see another weird and wacky rook lift early game, have a look at the absolutely fantastic game on screen. Magnus Carlsen at his dominant best. Thanks a lot for watching and see you soon. Cheers.